I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba.
President Trump has revealed that he expects to take Cuba in some form. In what has become one of the most contentious moments in the 67 years since Fidel Castro overthrew what had been a close U.S. ally, the threatening statements from Trump also come as Cuba and the United States open talks to improve their largely adverse relationship. But why exactly would Trump want to take Cuba? Here's what you need to know. After Trump recently floated a, quote, friendly takeover of the country, Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel confirmed on March 13th that his government was in talks with the U.S., which he described as being aimed at, quote, finding solutions through dialogue to the bilateral differences we have between the two nations. However, following the removal of Havana's socialist ally, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, from power, and the U.S. and Israel's joint attack on Iran, Trump has openly mused that Cuba could be next.
So we're talking to Cuba, but we're going to do Iran before Cuba.
After his January 3rd raid on Caracas, Trump cut off discounted Venezuelan oil shipments to Cuba and threatened to impose tariffs on any country that sold oil to the island. As a result, Cuba says it has not received an oil shipment in 3 months, and the country has imposed severe energy rationing, resulting in extended power outages. Much of its economy has ground to a halt, and on March 16th, Cuba's electric grid collapsed, leaving the country of 10 million people without power. According to several Cuba experts and Cuban-American lawmakers, the island's communist government has never been in a weaker state.
I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth. They're a very weakened nation right now.
After Trump's comments, the New York Times reported that removing Diaz-Canel from office is a key U.S. objective in the bilateral talks. Citing 4 people familiar with the matter, the Times said the U.S. had signaled to Cuban negotiators that their president must go, but are leaving the next step up to the Cubans. As far as why Trump would push for a regime change in Cuba, it would certainly follow the administration's trend of moving to topple governments seen as adversarial to the U.S., such as Venezuela and Iran. The administration has previously condemned the regime's alignment with American adversaries, such as providing defense, intelligence, and security assistance to the likes of Russia, Iran, and China, identifying Cuba as a, quote, extraordinary threat to the United States. This also follows years of sanctions, diplomatic friction, and disputes over migration and security between Washington and Havana. As tensions remain elevated and Cuba's strength and bargaining power dwindles, President Trump recently issued an ominous warning to the nation.
Cuba's a failed nation. Cuba also wants to make a deal, and I think we will pretty soon, or either make a deal or do whatever we have to do. So I think something will happen with Cuba pretty quickly.
If Trump elects to move forward with an operation similar to what was executed in Venezuela, it would break a decades-long precedent in U.S. foreign policy. While more than a dozen U.S. presidents have continuously opposed Cuba's communist government and criticized its human rights record, Washington has honored its pledge not to invade Cuba or support an invasion as part of the agreement with the Soviet Union to resolve the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962.